Poetry Press Week is a showcase of new works of poetry by established and emerging poets before an audience of press, publishers, and the public. The event is modeled after the fashion industry's biannual showcase, Fashion Week, wherein designers send their new work down a runway via use of models.
The idea for Poetry Press Week came to me one long evening as I drank wine and watched a cable program featuring 10 years' worth of fashion shows in New York and Paris. I saw designers showing up every 6 months to present new work to an audience of buyers, fashion aficionados, and press. Everyone was in one place at one time. I thought, poetry needs this, and why shouldn't poetry have a runway too? It occurred to me that a spring, summer, fall, winter format would inspire poets to come out of hiding, and by that I mean from behind their desks, to show up and display what they've been working on for the previous 6 months, and to do this to an audience of publishers who could immediately pick up the work, and the press and public who would serve to publicize it in real time.
I joined Liz in early 2013, and I love the project for what it would do for the traditional poetry reading, which if you've been to one recently, they're kind of boring. And so we were excited about what this project could do for the traditional poetry reading, bringing together artists and poets to demonstrate new work and to show new work, and to really change that dynamic and make it a big event. So we pitched the idea to Literary Arts, which you can see their space here, and they loved the idea, and they agreed to host our first show.
At our first Poetry Press Week, we showcased the work of 8 poets. And because we mandate that the poets aren't allowed to present their own work, they must use models, just like at a fashion show. But they're given carte blanche to interpret what a model means to them. Here's the singer and songwriter Laura Gibson presenting the poetry of Britta Mehl. She wrote original songs to accompany all the poems. Another poet, the internationally renowned Zach Schomburg, used a 7-year-old child to model his work for him. Here's Zach backstage prepping young Hamza, who was about to don a ghost costume to present a beautiful poem whose subject matter centered around a missing boy.
And this is Hamza reading the poem in a moment that Thomas Ross of Mercury described in this way: "There are not enough exclamation points in all the computers in all the land to punctuate the effect of a small child reading new poetry by Zachary Schomburg over some growling ambient music to a room full of Portland's literary finest." We were really excited by the turnout. The room was completely packed, and something that really pleased us was the diversity of the audience. The typical poetry readings in Portland are really homogenous, but this show hosted people in a wide range of ages and affiliations.
We were excited because we received some really great write-ups, like Thomas's here in the Portland Mercury, a bunch of Portland publications all the way up to national press via the Poetry Foundation, helped give us and the poets the press we were hoping for. For a week after the first show, at least, the buzz pervaded the internet and social media. People hadn't seen literature presented this way before, and they were excited to talk about it. Because we packed out the first show, we moved to a bigger venue, the majestic space that is Districta Contemporary Arts Center in North Portland. They warmly welcomed us, and given our need for more space, we immediately said yes. Its aesthetic was perfect. The vibe was very New York City, very fashion show.
You can see our audience mesmerized there. There were about 225 people that showed up that night, and that number blew us away. We were very excited to have doubled our show, the numbers. It was still a tight fit there, too. You can see here that we had some great shows. This is Veronica Martin's show. And the poets were really innovative in their interpretation of what model meant, utilizing everything from film presentations, as you can see there, musicians, performance artists. Seeing poets collaborate with those in other artistic genres was a really exciting element of Press Week for us.
And for if anyone's wondering if the shows get too far away from the poetry they're there to basically sell, we do require that the work is presented on the screen in back of the poets as they're presenting. And because of Poetry Press Week, at least 2 manuscripts have been picked up for publication, and multiple poems and individual publications have been picked up as well. And as you can see, it is not a normal poetry reading. You're seeing the work unveiled in real time via things that are very 3-dimensional, sometimes even 5th dimensional.
So that last one was a growth show for us, but in our estimation, it was a phenomenal success. We doubled our audience, and we turned it into a kind of fashion industry glamorous event that we wanted it to be, and that we think that poetry deserves. And this is Samia Bashir, who will be presenting at our next press week. She's reading the work of KMA Sullivan. Oh, is that me again? No, that's you, actually. Go ahead.
Okay, exciting. Our vision is to continue to promote the publication and publicity of new works of poetry every fall, winter, and spring, summer, forever. We wanted to be the place publishers come first to hear new work. We aim eventually to expand to a few cities across the U.S. Within 2 years, actually. And we want to take this internationally within 5 years. And we are not joking about that. We have already heard from organizers internationally, and we just have to find the funding to make it to these places to help lay the groundwork for Poetry Press Week to appear in these countries and cities, and to ensure continuity and quality under the Poetry Press Week name.
So finally, we would like to extend an invitation to all of you to come to our show on December 5th and 6th. Along with the press and publishers, you'll be able to hear brand new work from local Portland poets in real time. And the event is free. There's no ticket required. And there'll be a bar, so come dressed up and ready to enjoy a literature event unlike anything you've ever experienced. Thank you.